There had been a request to send in your favorite retro games you're looking forward to in 2023 by the German Retro Kompott podcast. And so I decided to take a look at my list of the upcoming RPG releases and to pick out those which are planned to be released this year and also got some strong retro vibes. And so here are Kordanor's top upcoming retro RPG releases for 2023. We are starting off with Scout against the Black Priory, an RPG reminiscent of games like Ultima 7 or other Ultimas. We are playing a group of adventurers who are traveling to an island to investigate some dark cult living there, and to bring the princess home, which apparently might have joined that cult. We are exploring the open world in Scout in a top-down view. We got a zoomed-out view when we are on the world map and a further zoomed-in view once we enter zones like dungeons and cities. Of course, we will also face many battles, which are turn-based. I think the most prominent feature of the game is its graphics, as it's using the color palette of the Commodore 64. And besides of the graphics for the world, the game also features a lot of beautifully made event screens. While it's not using music from the original Commodore 64 and thankfully also not from PC Speaker, the sound is created via a Yamaha chip which just fits perfectly. The release is scheduled for 2023, without giving a more precise date. You can already check out the freely available demo though. Next up is Shardpunk Vermin. It's somewhat of a roguelike tactics game where rat people took over the world and the remaining humans fled into the underground. We are playing one of these rebel groups crawling through the sewers, trying to take with us what is possible before the rats find out where we are and are starting to chase us. Any unnecessary battles in this turn-based system should be avoided, as in the end we will only face an overwhelming force of rats we will never be able to beat in the long run. The graphics also got a retro look and remind me of Dungeon of the Endless. They are a bit stylized, but very nice to look at. A release is planned for the first quarter of 2023, and for this game you can also find a free demo version. Iron Oath goes a bit of a similar route, although it's probably even closer to Battle Brothers or War Tales. We are playing a group of mercenaries in an open medieval fantasy world and have to fight against bandits as well as some nasty monsters. Iron Oath as well got some nice retro graphics. In difference to Shardpunk, you will be able to save everywhere though, and we will need to wait and see if this doesn't actually cause problems when put together with their randomly generated dungeons. For a better impression, there's also a demo again, and again a release is planned for 2023 without giving any specific month. Caves of Lore is the fourth and last of the top-down or isometrical RPGs I'm going to list here. In this game you will also roam around in a pixelated fantasy world with your group of adventurers and fight turn-based battles. There's a really nice looking trailer on Steam, but besides of that, there's hardly any further information available. And of course, in this case, you also got no demo. However, the release is scheduled for January 2023 already, and I kinda doubt that they will be ready till then. But who knows, maybe it will be a cool surprise release. The name of the next game is as cumbersome as possible. We are talking about A Quest That Became Legend. On the graphics side, this is the most modern looking title in this list, and its visual style is similar as that of Might and Magic 10, which is the Might and Magic title which brought the series back to its roots with a grid-based system and step-by-step movement. And this is exactly what you will not find in this game. A Quest That Became Legend will probably be the first noteworthy game in more than 20 years that offers exploration like we know it from Might and Magic 6 or Wizardry 8. We will roam around with our group of heroes from the first-person perspective in an open world completely free of any grid-based restrictions. The combat, again, will be turn-based. The progress of development is apparently very advanced already, and the release is currently scheduled for the first quarter of 2023. But people loving old-school grid-based movement systems like in Dungeon Master or in the older Might and Magic games also got several RPGs to look forward to. First one being Swords and Sorcery Underworld 2 Sovereign. The first part of the series had already been released in 2015. Even if the developer mentions that the graphics are being drawn by a professional comic artist, its style rather reminds me of shareware and public domain games of the late 90s. Certainly also a kind of retro. Another aspect which could put off players is the weird mixed world in which you can find orcs as well as robot spiders with lasers. However, that could also provide a very unique charm of the game if you're out exploring the open world and really don't know what to expect, as absolutely everything could be possible. I I'm actually quite thrilled about the release, which was scheduled for the end of 2022 before, but which had been postponed since then. While no new date has been given, I guess we can expect a release in 2023. Another series which is going to receive a second part is Legends of Amberland. The new title will be called The Song of Trees and is intended to also be a light dungeon crawler, meaning that it should be very easy to get into it while still getting a lot to do in the game. The first game of the series offered a big open world with plenty of optional dungeons and quests and of course lots of turn-based combat. The second will probably be very similar and improve on a couple of things. Legends of Amberland is another game I would compare to Might and Magic, but this time due to the lightheartedness in terms of graphics and atmosphere, which feels similar as in Might and Magic 3-5. Development only started a few months ago, but the first game of the series is probably serving as pretty strong foundation for the second game, and if everything goes right, a release at the end of 2023 might still be in the cards. Otherwise, we might need to be patient until 24. It's getting more exotic with Islands of the Caliph, another grid-based dungeon crawler in which we will explore a region of islands which is drawing on Middle Eastern folklore. It will offer an open world and optional quests next to the main storyline. Islands of the Caliph is intending to be a more action-focused game and is actually the only game from my list which will feature a real-time combat system. In order to make it more manageable, you will not control a whole party but just one character. The graphics are certainly also standing out, and I would describe them as rather unique mix of something like Daggerfall and the first Quake game. Very big pixels, somewhat 3D, but then again not really. But in the end, rather nice looking. Again, a release is scheduled for 2023 without even mentioning a specific quarter. Now, in addition to all these games I mentioned, there will also be a Dungeoncrawler Game Jam in April this year, where developers will have 1 week to create a brand new dungeon crawler and to send it in. More than 500 developers and artists have already registered, and we can expect a couple of dozen games coming out of the jam. And like in the last years, I'm going to play them all. This time, however, I even got an additional commitment, as together with the administrator of the page, the game developers of The Quest and Vaporum, and a couple of other crawler veterans, I'm going to be part of the jury. If you want to have a look at these games, which will all be totally free, or want to even create an own game in the jam, then check out the webpage at dungeoncrawlers.org. I will still need to see how I will cover these jam games on this channel, but there will most certainly be some coverage. So, lots of great RPG releases to look forward to this year. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic 2023.